Hello, my trail friends. Woody from Trail Wisdom, bringing you some trail wisdom for the day. Today, I want to talk about mellow trails, flat trails, and how the assumption is that we don't need to manage water off of those. Steep trails, I think, is pretty obvious that we do. I think everybody agrees with that. But all too often, I see flat-ish trails, low angle, low gradient trails sort of missing that aspect of water management because people assume, trail maintainers assume, that it's so low angle that you know, water's just not going to build up enough velocity to do any significant damage. And we have a great example here of some pretty significant water-based erosion, and this trail is probably I'm going to guess between 5 and 6%. So it's pretty low angle. It's not 10% by any stretch of the imagination. It is dropping down fall line. And we've talked about fall line trails in the past and how, ideally they're not good. Sometimes, it's the right thing to do because of, the right distance to get from point A to point B. And if you put it on a big old long kind of switchbacking contour, it may not be what the users are looking for, and they may just cut it anyway. So social sustainability always has to be taken into account. But we see pretty significant water-based erosion over on this right side. Most of the users are over here on the left side. We see a big sand deposit right here, and looking down, we see just kind of a continuation of that. Users are avoiding, users might have been over here on the left for quite a while, but as that became more eroded, they were trying to avoid that, and they bumped over to the right-hand side as we're looking down this hill. This trail is open to hiking. It's open to horses. It's open to bicycles, mountain bikes. I would suggest, just looking at the traffic patterns, that mountain bikers are the primary user of this trail. I'm not seeing any signs, for the most part, of horse use. A ways back, I did see quite a few elk prints. So it's open to elk, and elk are using this for sure. Always great to see elk prints out when you're stomping around. But we see the problem starts, further up here. And again, the assumption was just it's pretty low angle. We don't need to manage water, but that is obviously very wrong. I've heard some complaints about mountain bike trails in the Phil's network recently and having these big sand puddles, and how when you're riding those and you get on firm trail tread, because the loose stuff is washed away, and then you get down to the bottom and you hit a big sand puddle, and that really throws your bike because it's super loose, and you're probably coming into that with some speed. So that is a great sign, again, that trail, whatever trail that might be, definitely needs better water management. So as we look up, I'm not seeing anything as far as my eye can see in terms of water management. And this would be relatively easy to get water off. Frequency probably needs to be every 100 plus feet or so. This is the Todd Lake Trail. I'm heading in the wrong direction, or a different direction. Heading back that way heads to Todd Lake proper. Did a loop coming off of the PCT to jump on this one at Todd Lake. And then in this direction, it's heading towards the Metolius Wendigo, which is what I'm going to pick up to get back to where my truck is, which is up at the Maiden Lake trailhead. Hiking up the Maiden Lake Trail was interesting, very steep, quite punchy, quite frankly, kind of a rolly punch, so there'd be a nice little steep pitch, and then a flatter section, and then another steep pitch. But someone's done wonderful work on that. Really large, despite the fact that it is fall line and dropping much steeper than this one. It was in better shape than this particular trail, and quite frankly, in better shape than the PCT was. It's disappointing that the PCT doesn't get much in the way of tread and water management. The focus seems to be on log out, which is disappointing given the status of that trail as a national scenic trail and such an important long distance trail. But yeah, that Maiden Lake Trail was in great shape. Maybe I'll pop up it a little bit and shoot a video. I forgot to do that yesterday, but there were some beautiful big drains on that thing, quite big. So anyway, yeah, I mean, you definitely need to manage water even on these mellower trails that are not overly steep. We can definitely see that here on this particular trail, the Todd Lake Trail, heading out towards the Metolius Wendigo. And down here we see that water is accidentally getting off. No purposely built water management structure, but we do see signs that it's exiting right here. All right, that's the trail wisdom for the day. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm out on a couple-day backpack and thoroughly enjoying this route that I've picked. Quite a bit of solitude. Some of these out of wilderness areas actually have more solitude than in wilderness. So anyway, beautiful trail.